What's going on, guys? This is John Zakari, and today I want to do some comic talk. This past Saturday was Free Comic Book Day, as many of you may know, and I want to talk a bit about the stuff I picked up. I want to start with what has been all the talk in the comic world as of late, and that's Marvel's latest event, The Secret Empire. Now, why is this series causing so much buzz? Well, Captain America is the bad guy. Not only that, but he's a member of Hydra, of all things, his longtime arch enemies. And we're not stopping there either, and this is really the big part. This, supposedly, at least, isn't just some sort of mind control, clone, or similar comic plot. This is supposed to be the Captain America, the real Steve Rogers, and this is who he has been the whole time, working as a double agent for Hydra. Now, I haven't spent any money on this series up to this point. I know issue 1 is out now, but I haven't read it. But so far, it hasn't done anything to get me interested. For Free Comic Book Day, Marvel had another setup book for Secret Empire that I was also able to pick up again for free. In this free book, we get the big reveal for the Marvel heroes. While fighting Hydra, a carrier jet lands and opens up, revealing Cap and his new Hydra family. Again, he affirms that this is really happening, that this is really him. It's almost as if he's talking to us readers directly, going, yep, this is real, accept it. Then something happens, wasn't really clear, but all the heroes are incapacitated, and the big final image for this teaser had Cap walking over and picking up Thor's hammer, which raises even more questions, as if you're even just a moviegoer, you probably know that to wield Thor's hammer, one must be deemed, quote, worthy. So how could this apparently evil Cap be worthy? So yeah, there's a lot of questions to be answered here, but to me, there's one big problem, and that's, I just don't care. The way I see it, there's two ways for this to end. The most unlikely being, we now know who Steve Rogers really is, and he will go on to be this way permanently, or perhaps be killed off by the end of the series. I don't see this as a possibility. It's just so dumb. I mean, even if you're not an avid comic reader, you can probably understand people's outrage. One, of basically telling people, oh, that hero you've been following for decades, he's actually a bad guy. And two, this brings up so many plot holes. I mean, how many times has Captain America saved the world, even from Hydra themselves? Foiled their plots, blown up their bases, taken down their leaders. Why? I mean, how many times could he have just turned around and said, oh yeah, I'm with them, and that would have been game over? If he's really a double agent and has just been playing this long con, it makes him seem like an idiot, honestly, in my opinion, which is probably just as bad as anything else we're seeing here. Essentially, I think that with comic sales heavily on the decline, yes, movies do great, but that hasn't really been reflected in actual comic sales. I believe it was reported that April comic sales were down like 13% or something from last year. A lot of these publishers, not just Marvel, are looking for shock value, something to pull people in, and we've seen a lot of major deaths and passing of the torch and such lately, which would reflect this. But Marvel, I think, just went a bit too crazy with this Captain America angle. And with all the backlash I've seen about this plotline already, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing gets cut short and Marvel quickly backpedals on it. Now, sure, an amazing story could possibly, I guess, unfold from this. I mean, all I've read is the teasers, essentially, at this point. But, like I said again, this just isn't doing anything for me. But I don't want to just paint this negative picture of the comics world right now, or even my experience in it. Also, while I was at my local comic shop this past Saturday, I noticed this new X-Men comic, X-Men Blue. I was drawn in by the cool design for Jean Grey on the front, a Marvel hero I've always had a soft spot for. In fact, one of my most treasured comics in my collection is my CGC graded 9.6 X-Men 101 that was signed by Stan Lee. This comic was the first time readers were introduced to Jean Grey as the Phoenix. But anyway, going back to this X-Men Blue comic, it's about the original X-Men team, actually. Jean Grey as Marvel Girl, Beast, Cyclops, Angel, and Iceman being brought from the past to the modern day. Again, this was the first issue, and it seems like it's shaping up to be more of a fun, fish out of water kind of story. fun being the key word. I like seeing more lighthearted approaches to comics, especially the big properties. And guys, not everything has to be dreary and serious. The comic had some laughs. You know, they were playing jokes on things they missed from the old days. They poked some fun at the hipster culture. There was an encounter with the Juggernaut, always awesome, and some cool twists that closed it out. If you're someone looking for a comic to check out, I'd certainly recommend this, as you can get in right now at issue 1. It seems like there might be some callbacks to old storylines that the casual fan might not get, or at least not really appreciate. But the bigger stinger, at least in this first book, I think will even interest the casual fan. Even if you're only familiar with, say, the X-Men films, I think you'll find it intriguing. Also, it seems like there's a straight-up Jean Grey comic going on side by side with this new X-Men book, and after enjoying this so much, they've got another sale for me, as now I want to go pick up that first issue as well. So yeah, that's my comic talk for Free Comic Book Day. Let me know if you did anything for the event in the comments. Also, if you're reading any comics right now that you're really enjoying, feel free to share that as well. As always, I'm John Zakari, and thanks for watching.